Now, Brian Neiman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority.
6:37 on the Morning Majority. Brian Neiman and Mary Catherine Ham here in D.C. Brian Wilson down on the Gulf Coast, having a horrible time, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it, though.
We got Jimmy P. on the line. James Pethokoukis, columnist and blogger at American Enterprise Institute. How is it going, sir?
Hey, good morning.
I want to ask you about yesterday. Surprise, surprise. From the CBO, we find out that Obamacare did not bend the spending curve down. Is that correct? Because I could have sworn they told us it was going to.
$1 trillion deficits, really, every year for the next 10 years. Spending never going down before where it was when Obama took office. It was a pretty bleak picture, and given that it's really healthcare driving a lot of this, there's no evidence that the curve has been bent anywhere other than like straight up.
How often does CBO do this particular report?
I think that's the update. I think the update comes out, every 6 months.
Okay.
A $1 trillion deficit for the next 10 years, for every year.
Oh, yeah. and thank goodness they only went out 10 years. Because because when they've done like these longer estimates, the deficits, they're not going to get any better in the future unless we deal with entitlements. But, we talk about entitlements, but there's nothing stopping us from cutting the other spending right now. We can do that too.
All right. So, if that's the case, can it be fixed? Can you turn that boat around? And how long would it take to turn it around?
Well, it can be turned around, but the thing is, people we need lots of new ideas out there. Where are the new ideas? You know what? There are plenty of ideas out there. We're just not executing on any of them. So when I hear, presidential candidates very well saying, we need to come up with some, what? I don't really think we need a lot of new ideas. I think what we need to do is take ideas that are already out there and actually do them rather than talk about them, study them, create more panels. The president created a panel, came out with ideas. You completely ignore the panel. So, we don't need more panels, ideas. We need, leadership to, do stuff.
Where is the deficit coming from, though? Is it tied solely to Obamacare and entitlements, or are there other places where we're seeing the spending is increasing the money that's coming in?
Well, the main reason we're getting these big deficits right now is a combination of weak economic growth. So we have the recession, this post-recession, which both keeps tax revenues down and also causes a lot of spending on unemployment insurance. We have higher domestic spending. So the entitlements really aren't killing the economy yet. They will in the future. But right now, a lot of what's going on with the deficit can really be tied with the fact we had such a terrible recession and really such a lousy economic recovery. And I hate to even use the word recovery because it's been barely that.
Jimmy, I'm wondering if you had any thoughts about what happened in Florida last night with the vote count and the win by Romney. Any assessment of that?
Romney, he has some good states for him. It should be coming up in Arizona, Nevada, and Michigan. I thought Newt Gingrich's speech was really fascinating. It's interesting. I think he's trying to find the right historical analogy for himself, since he considers himself to be sort of a grand historical figure. Maybe he's going to be Reagan in '76, who was beaten, came back, had a huge role at the convention. Maybe that'll be enough for Newt Gingrich, is that to have that kind of role. But it certainly didn't sound like he was going to pack up the tent anytime soon.
Well, do you like I look at the numbers and say, look, Gingrich still did very well among the very conservative voters, especially in the Panhandle area of Florida. This thing could drag out for a while. No,
listen, we have. February is probably going to be a tough month for him. But then we go into Super Tuesday in March, a lot of southern states. I assume he's going to win a lot of delegates. He may win some states. And, I'm sure Mitt Romney would love to wrap this thing up tomorrow and just focus on Obama. But, he's going to have to keep focusing a little bit on Newt Gingrich and Rick Santorum, at least for the next few months.
Mary Catherine and I were talking about this during the show, during a commercial break, and I want to get your assessment on your thought about it. Is it possible that Mitt Romney, if he is the nominee, and let's just say he wins the general election, let's just have a fantasy.
Yeah, we're just going to alternate reality.
That Republicans, win the White House in 2012. Is it possible that Romney, where is your optimism level that he will actually go in there and say, look, we can't have these $1 trillion deficits every year. We're going to have to cut. I'm going to run it like Bain, or run it like one of my companies, and pick this thing apart. Where is your confidence level that actually could happen?
Well, as far as what his intentions are, I don't see why that wouldn't be sort of your base case. They ran a pretty tight ship in Massachusetts rainy day fund. He was pretty good on spending. I guess I'm of the belief he's actually running for president to do something, and I think he would take a Bain-like approach to the government. I mean, I also think he's going to go there and to get something done, and I think the deals are going to be. Listen, I think deals are going to get cut over the next few years. I think we have to determine: do you want Barack Obama cutting deals, or do you want Mitt Romney cutting deals? You want deals which will have a more conservative bent, or you want deals that are going to have a liberal progressive bent? And I think that's the choice.
Well, George Soros famously said the other day that there's not much difference between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. From what I'm hearing from you don't think that's the case.
I think that's ridiculous. I think Mitt Romney wants a tax plan that's going to I think lower tax rates, lower corporate tax rates. Obama wants to raise tax rates. Mitt Romney's endorsed Paul Ryan's plan to move Medicare toward a more market-based system. President Obama wants a system run by bureaucrats and this little presidential selected panel. To me, it's a completely different.